Hey everybody. I'm gonna stop apologizing for not getting these videos up on time because I don't know, I'm not really improving or doing anything to fix it. So I don't know. I guess I'll just have to deal with that. I'm trying to get my stuff together and get organized and get these done in a timely fashion. But as you noticed last week, I didn't even get one up. So I'm gonna actually recap last week and or 2 weeks ago, I guess, and this past weekend, all in one shot here. So um, I'll make it quick. Um, week 8, we had some pretty good matchups. Um, the most competitive one was me and Jeremy's matchup, which of course ended up going to bench points. I I almost was able to squeak out with my third victory in a row against all odds, but then of course Philip Rivers had his untimely fumble at the end of that San Diego game. It cost San Diego the game, and it cost me my fantasy matchup as it brought us back to 89-89, and Jeremy, of course, won on bench points. So that was a heartbreaker, um, except not really because I wasn't really even in playoff contention anyways. So it happens. Um, Brad beat David pretty convincingly, 91-72. David just hasn't been bringing it lately. For the personnel on this team, he just doesn't seem to score. And his D's been off this season, so he dropped to 3-5 there, or actually, yeah, dropped to 3-5. Cody beat Al 111-102. This was our matchup of the week. Um, pretty high scoring matchup. Cody ends up winning by 9. Um, Chad beats Mason 90-84. First week that I really haven't seen Mason's team show up. That was kind of surprising. Chad, uh, for his newfound standards, it's kind of a low score, but he ends up getting the victory, and a win's a win, right? So, um, well done there, Chad. That kind of keeps his momentum going. Ever since that trade with Wayne, his team has really picked it up. And finally, Walter uh, beat Wayne down by 30 points. Relatively low scoring effort from Walter, only 102, but Wayne just wasn't able to muster any counteroffensive. And Wayne gets the snowman for that performance. Um, then, uh, like I said, Wayne was the snowman for that week. We didn't have any Nostradamus. Then in this past weekend, um, Mason back in form, 118 points, just clobbered Brad, 118-53. Brad got the snowman for that. 53 points is never going to get it done ever, and if it does, uh, I don't want to be the person commentating on the matchup. Um, David goes with a big performance, beats Cody's team, who's been good of late, 116-98. David consistently inconsistent, as he tends to be. A big performance from him. I know he'd like to see more of that. I don't know if he'll get himself back in the playoff chase at this point, but um, certainly doesn't hurt. Um, Chad beat Wayne 104-83. Wayne's just uh, ever since their trade, he's just been going downhill, and Chad's been going in the opposite direction. Chad, I believe, has the longest winning streak in the league right now with 3 games. So he was able to keep it rolling um, against Wayne's team there, 104-83. And then Al beat Jeremy 86-54. Low scoring affair there. Jeremy, another um, that was our second pretty low score of the week. Brad's 53 and Jeremy's 54. Like I said, um, really not going to get it done. And I'm glad they didn't happen to play each other because that would have been super ugly. Um, the Snowman this week gave it to Brad, and no Nostradamus, like I said. Let's take a peek at the standings here. Um, like I said, Chad's got the longest winning streak in the league at 3 games. He's been scoring a significant amount of points lately, beating teams pretty convincingly. He's definitely a team to watch out for come playoff time. He's tied with Al atop the Goliath division. Al was in the lead for a while, but Chad's been gaining ground on him. It'll be interesting to see how that division plays out. Um, Walter, despite losing to me this past week in a big upset, he still maintains the lead in David at 7-2. Um, I'd still say his team's probably the class of the league. Mason's close behind at 6-3. Cody's at 5-4, right behind them, and then David and I are in the cellar at 3-6. Our playoff hopes pretty much dashed, as well as Wayne's and Brad's probably in Goliath. I think Jeremy's probably still got an outside shot, but he needs to really pick up his game. He's got some decent players on this team, so that's conceivable. I'm gonna take a look real quick at this week's games. Me and Mason are squaring off. Mason beat me by about 30 points in week 1, and I see a similar outcome here. My team's just really not that good. Cody and Chad in our matchup of the week. I'm going to go Chad here. He's been looking strong lately, but I think Cody should give him a real game of it. Al and Brad are squaring off. I don't see Brad being able to muster the firepower here. First of all, he's got to set his team, which when I checked yesterday, he hadn't. And then Al, Al is Al. He, no matter what his lineup looks like, he tends to get his points. Brady's got a tough matchup this week, but Ray Rice should be able to carry him, and he's got some firepower on his team. So I think Al takes that one. Walter should clobber David. You never know with David what's going to happen, but on paper, Walter should win that fairly convincingly. And then we got Wayne and Jeremy. Wayne, like I said, has been struggling of late, but I looked at his team, and I don't think he's ready to claim that #1 pick in the draft quite yet. And I think he's going to put up a fight as the season wraps up here, and I think he gets a win over Jeremy's team, which hasn't been too hot of late. So that's my upset pick of the week is Wayne over Jeremy. I think that pretty much sums up everything that I needed to cover from the past couple of weeks. Next week I'm going to post a league message concerning commissioner elections. I don't know how many of you are interested in doing anything concerning that, but it's just kind of a Screaming Howard's tradition every year that we put that up in case any members would like to run for the commissionership. And so I'll make that available to you guys. Last year I didn't get any interest, and I ended up just kind of assuming the commissioner position for a subsequent season. But I would like for anyone who's interested in running to certainly put themselves out there. When me and Mason campaigned against each other a couple seasons ago, I thought that was good for the league. I thought it was fun, and I'd like to see something similar happen this season. So think about that. I'm going to post that here and make that available to you guys, and I hope everyone has a great weekend. All right, take care.